The upcoming session is on decarbonization and just transition in the textile industry. So, if I may kindly request Mr. Senthilnathan V, the Senior Program Lead Textile Sustainability Fairtrade India Project, if you could kindly come up on the dais here. He will be moderating. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Senthil, please. So while Senthil is here, Senthil, please be seated. This session is going to be moderated by Mr. Senthil. Senthil is a sustainability and ESG technology expert with about 18 plus years in global textile supply chains. He brings expertise in carbon accounting, LCA tools, and Scope 1, 2, 3 data migration. His work focuses on net zero roadmaps, carbon tracking systems, and ESG digital dashboards, aligning with global benchmarks like MSCI, DJSI, and CDP. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Mr. Senthil. Senthil, over to you.
Good afternoon to everyone. So it's my great honor to welcome you to this important session, decarbonization, Fairtrade decarbonization, and just transition to textile sectors. So I feel privileged with you here. We are defining at the moment sustainability, where sustainability is no longer as an option; it's a necessity. And the textile industry, and especially the producer organization and suppliers, are at the very heart of the EU decarbonization's net zero journey. So over the next 90 minutes, so we are going to interact with the sustainability experts and market leaders, and interactions with the facility, farm level farmers, and garment manufacturers, and case studies and interventions across the clusters. So before we begin, so I would like to do some basic quiz with you. So maybe everyone have a mobile. So please scan this QR code in the screen and just attend the quiz. We have a good prize for you also. So what is the EU net zero target year? It's a basic question, but we have 3 questions. If you answer well, the gift for you. Shall we start? Everyone scanned? Okay, next question, Subhash. So please answer the next question. What is the EU net zero target year? So it's completed, I think. Subhash, next. No, before, previous one. Yeah. Okay, next. What is the key strategy for India to achieve the net zero goal? What is the key strategy? What is the key strategy for India to achieve the net zero goal? Yeah, answer? Okay. Next, Subhash. Next. So, the winner is Jnanavel, Shriyas, Karthik, Rajesh Mohan, Lokesh. Just give a big round of applause. So within 25 seconds, Mr. Jnanavel answered. Okay. Because within 25 seconds, he answered all the questions. So next, Mr. Shriyas. Shriyas, okay. Take 3 to 4 gates. Just fast, Karthik. And Rajesh Mohan. And Lokesh. EU is net zero is at 2050, and what is the India net zero? 70. Okay, 2070. Then what is the India strategy? Who answered? There's no sound from you also. Panchamid, right? Okay, yeah. Okay. So close. Subhash, can you do the PPT? Yeah. So to start setting the stage, so I would like to call Pooja to invite the speakers on the stage, please.
All right. Let's proceed with the session. If I can please invite our distinguished speakers to the stage. Mr. Anand Muthuswamy. Mr. Anand Muthuswamy. Mr. Anand Muthuswamy is an EC member of Tirupur Exporters Association and chairman of Branding and Sustainability Subcommittee, TEA. Under his leadership, he has been instrumental in advancing sustainable circular textile initiatives in the Tirupur cluster, most recently engaging with brands to develop post-consumer waste management strategies and promote eco-friendly production practices. He's a strong advocate for ethical sourcing and environmental responsibility in the fashion supply chain. So please be seated while I call upon our next panel member here, Ms. Prarthana Borah. Ms. Prarthana Borah is a Vice President, Sustainability Momentum India Private Limited. She's a seasoned leader with 25 years of experience driving inclusive, sustainability-led development across Asia and the Middle East, a mentor to youth climate leaders, and an international speaker. She has championed resilience, equity, and social justice. Today, she advises Indian companies on ESG strategy, supply chains, and sustainability reporting. Ladies and gentlemen, let's once again hear for this panel of speakers, please.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you. So, as we begin, I would like to connect Prarthana. From the global perspective, how do you see suppliers, producer organizations from India aligning with the EU and major brands' decarbonization expectations?
Thank you very much to Fairtrade firstly for inviting me. It's nice to be in a room of practitioners having dealt with global frameworks. So before we get into how do we actually see suppliers aligning, I think it's important to understand what is happening in the global space. Yeah. So let me just take two brands. If you look at H&M, H&M has committed to renewable energy production with the help of renewable energy, and their 2023 target was that they've achieved almost 94% production with renewable energy, and expecting to make this 100% by 2030. Similarly, for say a global brand like Zara, the renewable energy target is almost 80% from renewables by 2030. So these are like very large and very, very focused specific targets. Now let's come down to India. If you look at the textile industry, we have almost 450,000 textile manufacturing companies. And out of these, almost 80% is small, medium industry. And when we talk about targets and how do you align, so when you have a micro level conversation, like the first movers in this room probably, there's a lot of things happening in terms of alignment. So firstly, you have energy targets being set because of the government's incentives. Say like states like Maharashtra have kind of set up textile solar parks. Tirupur, for instance, is working very extensively with Fairtrade. So there are a lot of micro-level interventions. Similarly, in terms of the global brands, they have very specific targets on, say, water. So some of the international brands are actually looking at, dyeing processes without the use of water. Yes. So, and also, in terms of circularity, brands like H&M are looking at recycling. Now, the issue is not in terms of how aligned the suppliers in India are. Definitely, everyone is aligned. Everyone is conscious about the the need for transitioning to clean energy because there's a government mandate there. What is missing is actually the systematic approach to it in terms of setting targets, in terms of identifying the right kind of data, and as the Minister Councillor mentioned, the integration. So there are pockets where suppliers are working, and there are other suppliers where nothing is probably happening because the consciousness is not there or the awareness is not there. So in terms of alignment, I think the energy alignment is likely to happen because of the government's policy push. But in terms of the other areas like waste and water, biodiversity, those are going to take some time because there isn't enough of a policy push in that sector.
Yeah. Thank you for the insightful perspective. It truly frames the global context for us. So now I'd like to ask Mr. Anand sir, from a supplier-driven perspective, what are the most immediate challenges MSME face in reducing emissions?
Yes, very good morning to all. Before going to answer for single questions, I am honored to be here on behalf of Tripura Exporters Association, representing a high dynamic cluster in India. I would like to say a few words about our Tripura Exporters Association and the cluster. Before that, regarding this weaving a greener future, decarbonization in the textile industries is a timely and it is the critical now. So before moving to the sustainability topics and decarbonization, Tripura, everybody here, most of you here know about Tripura cluster, Tripura Knitwear Industries. We did a lot of things on sustainability long back. We started our journey in sustainability in 2008 and 9 itself, starting with the water issues. When water issues started in 2006 and 7, and court has ordered to close all the dyeing factories immediately, and it was closed to shut down within a day after the court orders. Then we have the challenge of dyeing our fabrics, and we are taking it to all the other states and territories and doing it in Surat, Ludhiana and all. And with this issue, we find out the new technology, JETLD, Zero Liquid Discharge, which was started in, and we did it successfully. That project was succeeded. And we started recycling the water from 2010 itself. As of now, we are doing that JETLD, Zero Liquid Discharge. That is 96% of our water is recycled, 100% is recycled, and out of that 96% is reused. Every day we are doing around 13,000 crore of liters of water. That is, if you take about 50% of the total Tamil Nadu drinking water. So we are proud to say we are the only cluster in Asia, in India and wherever it is, we are doing this the JETLD model.
Wonderful,
and that too on 100% we are doing on because there are big corporates like Sahi or Aravind in here and there in Surat, Bangalore or Delhi or any other Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. All the corporates are doing the JETLD process individually. But on the MSME side, as a cluster, we are the first one. We are having around 20 common effluent treatment plants, where every plant has 20 or 30 people jointly organizing. And this is the only MSME cluster succeeded cluster on the JETLD side, and nobody is, till today, nobody is able to do it successfully, either in Asia or in India. And coming to the next, we are 100% on the greener energy. We are producing on the solar and windmill. We are around producing, total Tripura cluster is producing around 2,000 megawatts of green energy, out of which the total Tripura district is using only 380 megawatts. So we are producing 1/4 excess greener energy and distributing it to the government and private sectors. And apart from that, we have planted around 2.2 million trees in the last decade, last 9 years, which is helping us in GHG and all these carbon emission and all. And the only thing we are slacking is we have not branded this, we have not exposed this to the India or the globe, and we are now started in the process of branding it. And in a just for your information, in a conference on big trade fair conference in Mumbai, I was also as the panelist, and they were talking about their association has did around 2,000, our sustainability warriors has did 2,500, planted 2,543 trees, and they were very much proud of that. And I was sitting there and I was telling that, for your information, that is a big all over India association, and I told them, we Tirupur Export Association planted 1,000 times like you did in the last 9 years. And they are not able to agree it. Just the reason is somebody is correcting me that Anand, you are mistaken. Maybe it's 10 times, maybe 22,000 or 100 times 2.2 lakh trees like that. But I told no, we did 1,000 times. And apart from these things, we are also doing now so many things which I will talk to you later. We are on the process of doing all. Bringing all the sustainability activities and all the compliance and everything under one tool, Tirupur Exporters Association tool under GRI and the EU and norms and all. Once it is ready within 6 months, then we are going to be it's a time changer for India, as well as Tirupur cluster is going to be the model for in the sustainability sector. And coming to the question,
So
Senthil asked about the,
what are the most immediate challenges for MSME on the ground realities? The
MSME side, if you take Tirupur, is 80%, 80 to 90% is MSME sector. Tirupur manufacturers 80%. The challenge in the sustainability side or decarbonization is the cost of transition, because MSMEs work on thin margin, and it's very difficult for them to adopt because brands or nobody is giving that much of price. And next is access to finance. Even nowadays banks or everybody is looking for sustainability or whatever it is in the decarbonization and all, but even banks is worrying to take a risk. So for finance side, we need MSMEs need some good supports, and also on the technology. Ease of technologies, very low technologies exist for accessible and other things. So that is also an important thing. And also another thing is awareness, because everybody is accepting, okay, decarbonization they can do, but they don't know the knowledge or how to do it and how to proceed it. And also the next one is we need the support from the bank and the policymakers and the clusters for the MSMEs to recognize them for whatever they are doing. That is the basic challenges we are now on the MSME side.
Sure. That's very valuable, sir. And we really inspired about Tirupur Export Association actions, what you have informed now.
Thank you.
Yeah. So next I would like to ask Prarthana, what are the key gaps in disclosure and reporting, and suppliers should focus immediately on the factory side? The key gaps in the disclosure part for the carbon disclosure and sustainability reporting disclosures.
So I think firstly, after what I heard from Sir, is there is a what and there is a why.
Yeah.
So I think we are, as a community, the country is focusing a lot on what to do, and the why element is a bit detached, because if you look at, say, European regulations, as you showed, there's a country target,
yes,
right? And the country target is aligned to the industry targets.
Yes.
So industry is expected to do certain things because they have to help the country meet the target.
Yes.
That is the first gap that we have in our country, because our country target is not aligned in the sense, because what is happening is there is no directive to industry in terms of what is to be done and how much is to be done. So if the top top 1,000 industry, which is disclosing under BRSR, is just reporting because they're generating data and they're not really told, but from the country perspective, what is the alignment, then that is the biggest gap, because the disclosure then is not helping in achieving a country target. Exactly. So that is, I think, the first disclosure gap. The second disclosure gap is that the quality of data. Okay. And in terms of the quality of data, there is a lot of platforms today, and ESG has become like a buzzword. So there are a lot of platforms that have been developed which don't actually give you the support on ground in terms of what is the type of data to be collected, how it is to be collected, and the validation. So if a single unit goes wrong, then your entire emissions accounting goes wrong. Exactly. So I think that is something very serious. And of course, Tirupur is what I call a first mover, a top level experience where things are happening. But there are, of course, how do we scale a Tirupur experience to other experiences is what probably we should be thinking about in terms of the gaps. The third is in terms of capacity. I think we spoke about it in the sense that how do we build capacity so that we make industry self-sufficient in terms of reporting, in terms of collecting data, in terms of putting it in a public platform. Because ultimately, disclosure is what? Disclosure is putting it in a public platform. Yes. It is about contextualizing the initiatives you do into numbers. And I think translating that to numbers is the most difficult. At the moment, if you look at international frameworks that are relevant in the country, I mean, something like a CDP, there's about 250 large companies which disclose to CDP. Yes. What about the rest? So I think, in terms of gaps of disclosure, we really need to look at how do we enable the data generation process, and before we actually go into activities and initiatives, how do we generate the data so that it becomes applicable in terms of what you need to do. So we are actually doing the activities, great activities, but then translating it into numbers is probably one of the biggest gaps.
Yeah, well agreed. Yeah, we agree the same point. So we understand the gap between the disclosures. So I would like to ask Mr. Anand sir, what has been your own cluster journey in decarbonization, Tirupur cluster level decarbonizations?
Okay, I think that I have answered in my starting introduction itself about the so and so things, but still I have to inform you a few more things. We are working with Fairtrade itself. We are working with so many other like Green Story, Green Stitches. There are so many other things which we are working, but I want to highlight the things we already entered a MOU with Fairtrade 1 year ago, and Fairtrade has working together very closely with Fairtrade, and I want to just give you some data of what Fairtrade, because it's we really thankful to CEO Abhishek and of course Senthil, who is continuously and regularly visiting Tirupur for all these projects, for all their project works and workshops, which is happening every month, minimum 1 or 2 times. They have totally the Fairtrade and Tirupur Exporters Association, they have given nearly 7 workshops on GHG emission, setting targets and strategies of our reducing energy carbon footprint, chemical inventory, environment, Hintex training, energy reduction technologies, human rights, HREDD, and workshop on product carbon footprint. So these workshops will give the awareness to MSMEs on the setting of all these GHG emissions and all other factors. And around, they have trained around 260 factories, MSME factories in Tirupur. That's a great thing to start with. And now we are moving with other projects also, but initially this is they have motivated us very much on this MSME side. And nearly 600 participants have attended all these workshops. And the projects, they had spent around totally in different products like pilot running project, RFT program, right first time program, and evaluation projects and all, and totally they adopted around 45 to 50 to I think MSME factories, and they have given the awareness of how to control the GHG emissions and all. They bring the solution providers, and so far in the last 1 year, they had spent around nearly 4 crore rupees for the MSMEs of 50 to 60 people, which I am very much happy and gratitude to Senthil and Fairtrade
Thank you, sir.
for these things. And on this one on the side which you had asked on the decarbonization and everything in decarbonization, which I already explained to you on the JETLD and everything what we are doing.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Because in Tirupur Exportation we have done a lot of trainings, as you said, but the great support comes from you and Max Selvan, sir. Because whenever we ask the training date and the venue, so you always supporting us. So whenever we message, you always replying us what is the date and the participant level. So the extreme support we have received from you. So that's why we achieved these kind of things. So we always thank you Tirupur Export Association and Branding and Sustainability Committee. Yeah. So finally, Prarthana, I would like to ask you, how can tools like CDP reporting strengthen MSME for the readiness for achieving net zero?
So I used to head CDP for almost 5 years, and I kind of
that's why the same questions come with you.
One of the reasons why I moved out of CDP was because I felt that it's still not relevant in the Indian context if you look at MSMEs and SMEs. So I have to be very honest there, that now I think of that there's a long journey before you move to CDP. Yeah. The Indian industry has a long journey before you actually start the CDP process. So, but coming back, when I was part of CDP, we did a assessment of with industry on why they embark on the journey, and the industry responded that it is because they can do a peer benchmarking. So basically, you have the data out in public, so you can look at what other people are doing, and you can design your journey according to that, and work on that parameter. So benchmarking, transparency, so is what CDP does. But I think to respond to your question, so say a CDP or a CSRD or a ISSB or a TNFD, they are all frameworks which give you very specific indicators and matrices to achieve something. And that is probably the starting point, because it tells you that you have to have a transition journey where you have to move from A, B, C, D to Z. Right, so I think that is the first parameter for embarking on a global framework, disclosure framework. But the issue with Indian industry is primarily the disclosures are being driven mostly because of customer requirement, because somebody's asking you to do it, and not so much for looking at your internal strategy. Yes, so I think the advantage of going with a global framework is that it helps you to look at your internal strategy. So you do your GHG accounting, so you find out what your emissions are. You do audits so that you can figure out where where you can reduce or may become more energy efficient. You do risk assessments. So basically, it's all about associating with the climate risks or the water risks that are being faced, right? So you do your risk assessments. Yeah. You look at how you can convert your risks into opportunities. I think the advantage of getting into disclosure, which nobody talks about, is how does one convert your risks into opportunities? What is the kind of economic gains that you can get 10 years from now if you move to renewable energy, or if you adopt water efficiency methodologies, if you look at transition from the perspective of looking at operational efficiency. So I think the opportunity assessment is something that some of the global frameworks really put forward. I just want to quote some data from CDP data while I was there. So I have access to that data that time. So 2022, the total risks that was estimated, the climate risks that was estimated by companies, Indian companies, was 2,800 billion USD. Oh. But the total opportunities that was estimated was 30,000 billion USD. So, companies have a methodology for estimating risks and for, estimating opportunities. So I think if companies start looking internally at risks and at your internal strategy, why are we doing it? We're not doing it because there are incentives outside, but it's because it is good for the company. I think that is the primary, support that these frameworks can give. But I must warn that a lot of companies come to me and or us to say that, okay, we want to do CDP, or we want to do SBTI, or we want to do EcoVadis. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yes.
It's a long journey. You have to start first with your basic carbon footprinting report. You have to have an ESG strategy.
Yes.
And then maybe, a year later, you would be ready for a science-based target or a CDP. So if somebody is promising you that, okay, you can do CDP and you will get an A in the first year of disclosure, I think I'm not saying it's not possible. You can be doing excellent work, so it'll be possible. But it's likely that, that it's a journey and it's not like an end. It's a means to an end.
Yeah.
So I think that is the primary reason for disclosures, that it enhances transparency. So you are able to look internally at your, at your transition, and as Anandji said, that when you're looking at your transition, you're also able to look at the financing. So then know how ambitious you need to be.
Yes.
Stop there.
Yeah, thank you. This point is very clear. So not but not least, Anand sir, my final question is, what role do you think collaboration between cluster and brands can play accelerating these transitions?
Brands and first we need a shared responsibility, because decarbonization can done only by suppliers. The cost and the risk should be shared by the suppliers, policymakers and brands. That's more important. And also on the knowledge transfer. Brands can bring the global best technologies, innovations, and work together with clusters like us, and to expose this to the low level and MSMEs. That is much important. That is knowledge transfer, and also collective solutions on the side of greener energy, water waste management. And because MSMEs can't do everything individually, so on the green energy side also, we are also working with our Tamil Nadu government, because now the green energy, only the LT users can use the green energy, because it's very difficult in getting the certifications like LEED and all. The environmental green energy is very important. So the LT users, which are all MSC, they are very, if they want to go for a solar, it's very, very much cost effective. So we are requesting our Tamil Nadu government to assess, go for the Tirupur cluster alone, to buy the greener energy. So this is also, we have to work on collective solutions as a cluster, along with the government and other things, brands. And next is market access. That's very much important from the brand side, to give the access for the who are on ethical sourcing and on the sustainability side, on the GHG emissions, and who are on the sustainability. They have to be respected, and on the price side, on everything. That is more important between the brands and the cluster.
Sure, sir, understood. So collaboration truly seems to be the bridge between the ambition and action. Yeah. So next, small poll with you, Subhash. So what is the biggest barrier on decarbonization? What do you think? So we have 4 options. So just reply on the poll. So what do you think on these 4? High cost of, maybe you can say in the back also. So high cost of renewable energy transition and limited access to sustainable technologies, and complex supply chain and traceability gaps, and lack of skilled workforce and awareness. So which one is the exactly matches for the decarbonization and biggest barrier on the decarbonization textile sector? So what do you think on that? So which is the right matches one with you? What do you feel in the 4 answers? The third point? Okay, in Prarthana, your view, which is the most relevant for the textile sector?
I'm someone who would not choose either or. So I think complex supply chain is something that textile sector.
We completely agree, because complex supply chain and traceability gaps is a more relevant one. So Yeah, thank you. That was very insightful. So we have seen the big picture and the challenges. So thank you, Prarthana, and thank you, Anand sir, for the dice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anand and Prarthana. So moving on next, we have our next chapter, which is titled Fair Trade Interventions Across Levels. In this segment, we will hear how different interventions at industry, producer, and innovation levels are shaping the pathway for a just and sustainable transition. If I may kindly invite our speakers, Mr. Shrivog Norlawar. Mr. Shrivog Norlawar, Institutional Business Lead. He is an agri-tech professional passionate about making farming more sustainable and efficient. He's focused on enabling farmers to save water, optimize resources, and adapt to climate changes. He's been a part of the initiatives that link technology with sustainability and improve farm productivity. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Shrivog Norlawar.
We can call only the names.
Up next, Mr. Narayanasamy Arunachalam, the Vice President, Armstrong Spinning Mills Private Limited. Let me quickly call upon all our speakers here. Mr. Vignesh Kumar Saktivel, the CEO, the Jaivel Impex, and Mr. Dhanasekaran C, Parthar Adhava Apparels. You want to get started with the session?
So thank you so much, Pooja. So each one of you comes from the different point of supply chain. So your perspective will enrich these discussions. Yeah. So like to start with Shrivog. At the farm level, because you are working in the farm level, at the farm level, what practices are making the biggest difference in the emission reductions?
Yeah. So first of all, good afternoon, everyone. And I'm honored to be here. I just start with what we do and basically what we do, like how we are associated with the farmers. So today, like definitely since last 2 years, we have been associated with Fairtrade, and we are taking the technology that we have developed to deeper sections, like we are working with even small scale farmers. And I definitely thank Fairtrade for the opportunity that they gave us. And today what we do is, so we help the farmers in strengthening their decision making. If you'll see, we help their decision making to be scientifically robust and also agronomically relevant. Because if you'll see today, the problem that farmers are facing and how it is related to the emissions, as per the question. So if you'll see, like there's a traditional way of farming that has been set since last many decades.
Yeah.
So if you'll see the water usage as well. So farmers are set to like do over irrigation to the crops. So I'll just give an example. Like if there is a farmer who's irrigating by flood irrigation.
Yeah.
So on an average, the irrigation he's doing for a season, let's say per acre of a crop, is somewhere around 3 millions of liter, which is responsible for 700 kgs of carbon emission. That too, when he's adopting some sort of technology, when he's adopting drip, it's getting reduced down to, let's say, like around 2.1 million liters, which contributes around 500 kgs of carbon emission. But when even going forward, they are adopting technology and they are like adopting sensors and they are properly monitoring their soil moisture levels and irrigating. So the same irrigation is reduced down almost to 15 million liters, and the carbon emission also is reduced down to 350 kgs. So if you'll compare it with flood, there's a 50% reduction in the carbon emissions.
That's inspiring.
Yeah. Even if you talk about the inputs that the farmers are using, like there's a set mindset in farmers today that more the fertilizers they are going to use, more their production is going to be. And along with that, if you'll see the other factors, like there's a huge use of chemicals, which is indirectly associated with a lots of carbon emission with respect to the manufacturing, transportation, along with the application as well. And definitely it's causing them, it's increasing their cost of cultivation, but the production remains same on, I would say it's reducing with the over usage.
Okay.
So definitely proper usage of technology and highly data-based monitoring in farming is very useful. And I think it can save the emission levels at huge levels.
Yeah, truly inspiring. So I would like to ask Mr. Narayanasamy, sir, what is the toughest challenge in your facility to achieve the decarbonizations?
Good evening to everybody. The toughest challenge lies in implementing decarbonization across the supply chain. That is the very toughest challenge. Then especially shifting to renewable energy and adopting low carbon technologies. So normally the innovative solution, they have to use wind turbines and solar panels and electric vehicles will produce fewer green gas emission. So that will also help. And biomass energy utilizes organic materials like agriculture waste to produce heat and electricity or biogas. And apart from that, while we focus on energy efficiency and waste reduction and sustainable chemical usage within the factory. So there you have to have so many reducing the energy, you know that even lighting also is an important role. There are a lot of changes we can make it, and they can use the energy saving lights, and it is important in the factory. And the suppliers often need more training, awareness, and continuous monitoring. That is the key point everywhere. But even though long-term brand commitment is also essential to support these transition. Definitely, because without brand support, you cannot achieve anything. Because the regular order, if you are having it, you can also easily do everything. However, training and awareness, Fairtrade providing adequately, especially Senthil, he is giving very good training to everybody. But additionally, because even I am in 71, I am learning still so many things from these people. And this is the way we are doing.
Thank you so much, sir.
Additionally, procurement of sustainable raw material like Fairtrade cotton remains difficult due to climate variability across region in India. So everywhere there is one place it is heavy rain, one place there is no rain at all. So these all will create the supply chain problem also. So this is the main toughest challenges I face.
Really appreciated, sir, and thanks for the honest answer. And without any delay, Mr. Vignesh, so what training and adoption Fairtrade team provide with your facility? So
thank you, Senthil. Thank you, Fairtrade, for the invite, and we are honored. I'm here representing the MSc from Tirupur. We are exporters in Tirupur. To be honest, the exporters are, I don't know whether they are speaking much about the Trump's tariff, but we are talking about the CBMM carbon tax. And that's the impact you have created, actually, to be answered in one word. So the exporters we are genuinely moving towards the sustainability. The primary thing what we see is the, like in the last discussion, what they have discussed about the gap analysis, so the knowledge. So what the brand requires, what really we need. So the knowledge is the primary thing. Of course, the fund is the most important thing. But before that, if you, for example, if you keep your $1 million suitcase in front of us and we don't know how to use it, then it has no value. So we need to know how to use it, when to use it, why to use it. So like they said in the previous panel discussion. So this is where the Fairtrade is really playing the major role. So the workshops that you have conducted, like decarbonization, scope 1, scope 2, greenhouse gas emissions, all those playing an important role to understand what we are doing, where we are, so what exactly, how to measure the carbon emissions, or what is a baseline, so definition of the baseline. Everything we are getting from you. So the key important point I need to mention here is, for example, when we had the first session with the Fairtrade, the last August, it's been 1 year. After the session, you called me because I have given the feedback. So you called me, then you asked me, please explain your feedback. Then I told the case study was missing from your session. Then you have added the case study in the next session. So you are inviting the suppliers, you are inviting the vendors, you are inviting the software creators. We have Dr. Vimal here, we have Beyond Sustainability here. So you are bringing everyone, you are connecting us. You are trying to provide the case study, real case study. You are making us to understand. You are making us to work practically on the workshop. So this is where you are differentiating from the others. So other NGOs also providing the theoretical knowledge, but you are providing theoretical as well as the practical knowledge. So this is the major impact that you are providing. Coming to the second challenge, of course, the cost. As everyone said, like the brands are asking for more sustainability, but for the cheaper cost. But sustainability never comes with a cheaper cost. So here is where the Fairtrade's credibility support is provided. So for example, the evaluation you have done for the MSME, for chosen MSME, we know that the evaluation costs so much, more than a lakhs. So this credibility support is very much important for us. And yes, so the future belongs to one who is preparing today. I know that you are preparing us today, then our future is very secure. So thank you Fairtrade for this one.
Thank you, Vignesh. So, Dhanasheran sir, so because you are from the garment manufacturing unit, so how did you establish your baseline through Fairtrade support, and what is your sustainability performance in factory now? We came to know before you don't have any baseline for the emissions, right? So,
good morning, everyone. Thanks for this opportunity to Fairtrade. At first, frankly telling, we were not aware about the baseline, what is it meant, how to calculate it, and why it is important. But Fairtrade supported us to identifying our baseline by analyzing our consumption versus production. They clearly explained what is it, why it matters, the environmental benefits, and how to contribute in cost reduction. With this with the consultancy team, the Fairtrade allotted to us, they give lot of recommendations to us. So based on their guidance, the baseline is established and clear targets were set for the coming years.
thank you, sir. Shrivog, how are the farmers are responding to the climate smart practices, and how they seeing the value, the climate change practices from the farming level?
See, honestly saying, we've been working in the sector since last 5 years, and I would say definitely we faced lots of challenges. Because as I told in the previous question, that farmers are set to a traditional mindset of farming.
Yeah.
So definitely when we tried to pitch farmers like they should use this technology, the questions we faced were like, is a machine now going to tell us how to do farming? We have been doing it since last 4 generations. So, but there was a group of early adopters who started to use this technology, and they achieved some good results. Like there was, on an average, I'm saying, there was 20 to 25% of improvement in their yield along with the cost reduction. So it's a good combo of financial benefit as well as the risk reduction. And definitely these things are promoting farmers to adopt this technology day by day. So the number is increasing day by day, I would say.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So, Narayanasamy sir, maybe if you had one piece of advice for the other factories, so what it would be in the reduction of emissions?
Yeah. Start by adopting renewable energy sources in your factory in any way, from solar or anything that you can do it. Implement simple, effective energy saving measures across all operation, and focus on waste reduction through recycling or circular economy practices. Finally, take proactive steps to reduce CHC emissions and build a long-term sustainability roadmap, and connect with Fairtrade Sustainability Clinic. If you need any kind of support, you may get answer within a day for your needs from Senthil. That's the only thing I can share now.
Vignesh, and my question with you, what is the most effective approach from the Fairtrade to reduce your emissions at the facility levels?
I would say the step-by-step approach from your side. or
From
we
Fairtrade
can,
side.
yeah. Yeah, the most important thing is I don't know who has created this, but kudos to the person who has created the sustainability clinic. This is the major boost for the exporters because we try to connect with the experts. Because when we have joined hands with you, then we are forming a community. Then you are trying to connect with the experts. So these experts are connecting easily via the sustainability clinic because we don't know whom to approach. For example, if I need to know something about the energy, then I will give a message, or we can mail you, or we can give a call. So this sustainability clinic is providing a major role. And also through sustainability clinic, we are implementing in our factories. So the implementation steps to reduce the energy, reduce the waste. For example, as I said, the evaluators are keenly observing the production process in the factories. They are even giving us small suggestions like, okay, your tap doesn't have the filters, so this produce or loss some kind of energy, or you are losing this much amount of energy in this one. So these are the key points that we are missing. So, but your side, that is producing. So this is how we are improving our, the baseline. So we are coming up, we are reducing this one. So yes, I would say the most important support is via the sustainability clinic, and also the community, how you are creating. So as I said, the workshop, then you are all teaching us. So that is what I would say.
Yeah, thank you, Vicky. So Dhanashayan sir, because you established the baseline and it improved the baseline from the GHG emissions, right? Carbon reduction you have improved. So sometimes visuals are speaking more than the words. So can you play the video? Because we have adopted the Ottawa apparel factory for the reducing the carbon emission. We have done the evaluations. So yes, where you are, and we did a lot of practices and a lot of training investments, and some of the investment happened at your facility to reduce the GHG emissions.
Yes.
So can you play the video, Subhash? Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dhanasekaran. I am partner at Ottawa Apparels, located in Tirupur, India. We are dedicated manufacturers of knitted sweaters and knitted garments with committed to sustainability and quality. Based on their guidance, we implemented several changes within our production facility. With the lighting optimization, we have replaced a group of switches with individual switches, allowing us to light only the areas in use, resulting measurable energy savings. Machinery upgrade. We replaced the traditional motor-driven machines with the direct drive machines, leading to significant reduction on energy consumption on the production floor. Solar energy enhancement. Our solar panel capacity was upgraded from 30 kW to 50 kW, increasing our share of renewable energy and reducing reliance on grid electricity. Now our facility is neutralizing the power consumption by solar power production. Ventilation efficiency. We installed HVLS propeller fans in the operational areas, replacing multiple conventional fans and further lowering electricity usage. As a result of these initiatives, we have achieved 12% of reduction in GHG emissions compared with the previous year. Our baseline has also significantly improved, and we are now have a strong understanding what it takes align with the 1.5 degrees Celsius goal of Paris Agreement. We are confident that with the continued effort, we will achieve the net zero emissions in our facility in year 2030. It is our vision to become one of the leading net zero factories in Tirupur textile sector. We are truly grateful to Fairtrade for their exceptional support and guidance. Their partnership has been instrumental in transforming our approach to sustainability. We look forward to continuing this journey with optimism and commitment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we had interaction with across the level sectors, from the farm, from the spinning and garment manufacturing, as well as the manufacturing sector. So in the manufacturing sectors, because we support a lot through evaluation part, so we done the evaluation from the industry. So where they are now in the carbon, in the water, in the chemical, and in the waste. And then we did the baseline. We established the baseline and what improvement need to do in the factory. What are the opportunities in the factory to improve? So we listed out the opportunities for with capex and without capex. So without capex, we support a lot from the facility to improve the baseline. And with capex, as the video said, the solar enhancement and the machinery changes and the light, the switches changes. So everything they done, and they improved 12% baselines from the compared to last year to this year's. So this Fairtrade team did a lot of effort through other apparel, through our consultancy team to improve their baselines. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining. So we have interacted with the farm level and the garment and manufacturing level. So now let's go with some case studies and inspiring success stories from the Fairtrade process. So what we did, so what are the case studies from the markets and what are the inspiring success stories from the cluster levels also. So I would like to call Pooja to welcome the next session speakers, please.
Thank you, Senthil. So moving on, speakers, I would gently remind you, there will be some video bites and media bites. This is just a heads up. And quickly moving on to our next session, Mr. K. Mezhi Selvan, the Managing Director, Gloria, Casa, Moda, EC member, Tirupur Exporters
to welcome the
Association and Vice Chairman, Branding, Sustainability and Business Promotion Subcommittee, TEA. Mr. Nandakumar Rajagopalan. He's the Chief Executive Officer, Chetna Organic Agricultural Producer Company Limited. Mr. Rajesh Mohan.
welcome, sir.
Mr. Rajesh Mohan is ESG Functional Manager, SNQS Internationals. And finally, Mr. Sasidharan Balamurugan. He's a Sustainability Manager, Atlas Export Enterprises, Karur.
Yeah.
So over to you, Senthil.
Yeah, thank you, Pooja. Thank you so much for joining, sir. So, because due to time constraint, I will directly ask with the questions with you. So, my excellent sir, how Tirupur clusters benefited through Fairtrade training and some the adoptions kind of things?
Hello, Senthil.
Hi, sir.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, Senthil.
Yes, sir.
Is it audible?
Is it audible for everyone?
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, Senthil, I thank immensely Patrick, Abhishek and you for inviting us from Tirupur Exporters Session, representing our organization as well. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to us.
About your question is, okay, first of all, I would say that India, as foremost, have a long tradition of being sustainable even from our olden days. Even, the current situation of, the carbon neutral requirement was all is for the past 10, 15 years due to the industrial revolution. But we were, we have a great history about sustainable practices from the household onwards. Somewhere on the other middle way, we all lost that practices. But in the recent past, I would say that Tirupur cluster on its own, even without all these implementations from EU or any other, councils, we have been carrying our own Mother Earth, where we have implemented ZLD, where my Sustainable Committee Chairman Anand already explained about how Tirupur has evolved by responsible policies with regards to chemical, water, tree plantations, and energy. So all these sectors we ourselves did, even without having all these past 5-6 years implementations. So that is one we could be very proud of. About the recent development, I would say since we have been associated with sustainability in tea, Fairtrade is one of the foremost organization which we have. Fortunately, you have targeted Tirupur, and I think because of Fairtrade, I think we have brought a lot of awareness within MSMEs, giving training programs. Successful training programs with full house of training programs. In fact, whenever you conduct your workshops, it always you have to reduce the number of members because of the overcrowd. So that is the kind of impact your workshops have been in Tirupur. And so I would be saying that Fairtrade has been one of the foremost organizations which have created this awareness within our industry. I think.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the insightful things. Thank you. Nandakumar, sir, from the form level, I would like to ask something from you. Can you share a real example of how climate-friendly practices improved resilience or productivity on the farm level?
Good afternoon, all. I'd like to thank Fairtrade, Senthilnathan V for inviting me as a speaker here. I'm honored. What we try to promote and the farmers got adapted over more than 2 decades is on promoting organic farming and improving the soil health, basically to sequence the carbon so that the soil is organic matter is maintained. So the practices we adopt is provide them with non-GM genetically modified cotton seed. Along with that, they also grow mixed cropping instead of monocropping. They have multiple cropping pattern with legumes and border crops of cereals like maize. And so basically to generate and promote more biodiversity across to control the pest directly through the ecosystem management. And apart from that, during the current last 4 5 years, there is erratic rain pattern. Either it is delayed or it have heavy rainfalls, so the topsoils are getting washed away. So what we have decided is we also started promoting plantation of trees around the bunds, different types of tree species, fruit trees and timber trees and green manure trees. One, they try to arrest the soil erosion. Two, they different types of bird species perch on them and try to manage the pest, and also you get some fruits for farmers. These are practices, and most of these farming inputs are on-farm generated. Nothing is sourced from outside. The basic focus, what we are trying to see is that the soil organic carbon content is maintained, and if there is a drought-like period, the crop can still sustain.
Excellent example, sir. Excellent example. So next to Sasi, from your experience, how Fairtrade training helped your company moving towards sustainable journey?
Yeah. Thanks, Senthil. And Fairtrade India for this wonderful opportunity to explain about our experience in terms of your training into a Tirupur cluster as well, in Karur cluster as well. Like we are a home textile manufacturing industry. Like we've been into home textile manufacturing for about 4 decades, and we do all the major clients in Europe and US as well. And the initiative you made in Tirupur cluster was really amazing. Like it really what do you call, like we're facing a lot of challenges in the our own industry in terms of complex supply chains and gaps in the data and lack of awareness in the employee sides, and as well as we are getting a lot of pressures from the buyers as well. Like so we thought like only way to overcome all these challenges is like we have to attend a complete training and to understand the basic knowledge about GHG and accounting as well. So your training is such a wonderful platform for us to get all the knowledges about baseline study as well as GHG monitoring and what are the techniques to get adapted in our industry to utilize the complete value chains as well. So by attending all these trainings, like we finally came into a picture, like we are now having a systemized monitoring program in the energy monitoring as well. And right now we have captured all the three scopes of emissions into our value chain as well as in our supply chain as well.
Yeah.
So right now we are working with SBTi as well as we started working in CDP as well. So during last year we got C rating. So we are expecting higher rating in CDP as well this year. So these all because of complete end-to-end training by Fairtrade and yourself as well. So you're partnered with a lot of service providers, and you are started including all the implementation partners into the training. So that really helps us to improve our sustainability goals as well. And we also wishing Fairtrade India and yourself to not only limiting your training into Tirupur cluster, and please
I expect the same answer from you.
start implementing wherever possible, and a lot of MSMEs are available in Karur cluster as well. So please try to implement
Sure.
such a wonderful trainings in our cluster as well. Thanks.
Really will consider about this to focus on Karur cluster also for the training and adoptions. Thank you for the insightful, Sasi. Definitely will consider and we'll discuss with the management and I'll come back with you. Yeah. Mr. Rajesh, I would like to ask you, what expectation do brands like Primark and others have from suppliers in India regarding the decarbonization?
Yeah, good afternoon all. I'm honored to be here and thank you Fairtrade India for inviting me to give my feedbacks. So specific to the brand's requirements, brands are requiring transparent data on carbon emission and the sustainability performance throughout the supply chain. As myself working in a complex supply chain, like where we work with around 150-200 factories in different tier levels. So it is very challenging for us to organize and manage these factories and streamline to collect this data. And Fairtrade India, they're doing a wonderful job. Like they are giving so much trainings to our suppliers, not only to our suppliers, throughout Tirupur cluster, inviting all the factories, training on GHG emissions, scope level emissions, how to reduce carbon emissions, how to report. All such trainings are provided by Fairtrade. So this make our work even more easier. Initially, we were struggling to collect these kind of data. When we were talking 2 years ago, these kind of terms like carbon emission, things are something new to our industry. But organization like Fairtrade India, they are into this industry, providing more such trainings. And they are also linking solution providers who provides digital tools in monitoring, in tracking the data. All such things are also being provided by Fairtrade, and we really been thankful for this.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thanks for the transparent answer. Max sir, finally, I would like to ask you one question from you. Already you explained a lot of things, but even though, what outcomes or success stories you most proud of the cluster level from the TEA?
One of the success story is very obvious.
Yeah, this is what
One of the success story is very obvious already, that through Fairtrade you are already enlisted on board at 42 plus another 10 factories, where they have gained a lot of knowledge, including one of our Vignesh as well. So they are one of the best examples for that. But I would say also through our sustainability committee is spreading more awareness on all aspects of sustainability, whether it's chemical or it is all the GHGS norms and also ESG. All these sectors we are organizing many seminars and workshops through various platforms, and I think the awareness is spreading slowly among all the MSMEs. Only thing is that it is not reaching to the small supply chains. That also which we have to concentrate. If we concentrate on all the supply chains of the factory, that would bring more awareness, and we can reach our goals pretty fast.
Yeah, really wonderful to hear the success stories, sir. Thank you so much. Nandakumar sir, what motivates farmers to stay committed to decarbonization practices? So, what motivates the farmers?
One is they get a consistent, sustainable yields, and their soil condition is improving day by day, and they have very less pest attacks. And the second thing is the premiums from fair trade and organic markets they are getting. These are some of the practices which they do. Also, apart from that, what we have done is one of the major challenge which agriculture is facing in India is about crop residue burning. And as per the standards, also it is not supposed to happen. But if you see, for a farmer to remove his crop, particularly cotton, which has got more of cellulose content, it doesn't decompose quickly. It has to be burnt to clear the fields. So we tried a pilot with the support of Fairtrade India to do biochar, which is a pyrolysis process.
Yeah.
And involving the community, we have piloted in one village and trying to see that the biochar convert the cotton stalks into a coal biochar, then incubate it with the liquid manure and then apply back into the soil. So this will help to improve the soil organic content, as well as because the moisture is retained in the soil, there are a lot of microbial population increases, which helps the crop to be healthy, also soil to be grown. These are certain interventions which we have been doing it along with their regular organic package of practices which they are doing, apart from providing markets. So plantation of trees on the bunds, around 70,000 trees we have planted in their bunds. Like that, these activities plus the continuous, consistent, less pest attacks is what motivating them to continue the practices.
Good to hear your all motivations to the farmers to grow in the decarbonization level. What has been the responses from your workforce, maybe from the management, maybe from the top level people, and from the workforce to those new practices for the sustainability aspects?
Hello. Yeah, sir. Like without people support, like it would not be happen in any factory. Like earlier, there will be a myth like, why should I do that? Like there is a complaints person who can handle all the things in the factory. They can able to meet the auditors, and they can able to handle all the NCs and this that all the requirements will be handled by the single person in early days. Like what current scenario is like, they started gaining knowledge from us and are training about what is GHG and what is carbon accounting, which helps them to improve their knowledge as well. And we also included these kind of awareness into their KPI as well.
Okay.
So each and every year their KPI will be reviewed as based on these sustainability part as well. Even though he or she is working in down the level, so that they will be having a specific KPI in terms of reducing their own consumptions in terms of raw material or wastages. So how they are consuming or reducing their raw material consumption as well as waste reduction. So these everything are under their KPI. It actually brings their skills outside. Like they are specialized in some areas. Like one may have a lot of creativity in terms of waste reduction, and one may be having some ideas of reducing the supply chain when we are buying it from the far area. So some of them will give a perfect idea to source it in a nearer area. So these are all complete KPIs, and their own perspective has improved our knowledges as well as our work efficiency has been highly improved. Like when auditors came for a audit, when they are visiting to a EM department or a chemical department, they started telling it in a scientific way. Like, so this diesel comes from these mineral or these synthetic free, some like that. They have started interacting with the auditors. They started impressing about our employees as well. So these are the complete life-changing moment in our own employees as well. Thanks.
Yeah, really used a good lot in the facility. I understood. Yeah. Not least, Rajesh, what kind of support or partnerships do you see essential for suppliers to meet EU climate targets?
Hand-holding support is required from all the levels.
Okay.
Money is involved in all this transition. So financial assistance and incentives is required.
Do you need green finance? You mentioned the green finance?
Yes, green technologies and green finance that is required. And number two, there should be a proper access to the technologies available. So we are not having any clear vision on what is the proper technology to use to monitor these requirements. So a proper technology access should be available. And number three, there should be a proper digital tool to monitor and track the system. Like it should be very effective. And a collaborative engagement with the brands and the government, that is much required to make the work even more easy. So these are our expectations.
Yeah, yes, correct expectations are really understood. These expectations definitely need from the brand level to take actions, not only from our level. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of you to join this panel discussion. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, speakers. I think me and the next set of speakers are coming between lunch and you all. So without further ado, let me quickly call upon Mr. Hari Prasad, the founder Beyond Sustainability, Mr. Kaushal Swaroop S., the Chief Operating Officer for Carbon Tech Corporation LLP, and Mr. Stanley Joseph, the Lead Programmer, Dialectics. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our panel of speakers, please. And over to you, Senthil.
Thank you, Pooja. So we have heard about the strategies, challenges, and case studies and inspiring success stories previously. So now we are going to hear from the Fairtrade end, what is the next pathway steps to move forward at. So I would like to start because due to time constraints, we would like to wind up as soon as possible. So I'd like to ask Mr. Hari, from your consultancy perspective, what are the top 3 steps MSME can take today to move closer to net zero? Because you are the consultancy with the Fairtrade to evaluate the suppliers. So what are the top 3 challenges and top 3 steps MSMEs need to take?
Sure, yeah. Thank you. Firstly, thanks for having me, and it's a huge pleasure to meet you all. And also, this question was something that was answered a lot. I think there were a lot of case studies that were spoken about, and there was someone from Armstrong, Mr. Arunachalam, gave a lot of solutions already. So I don't want to dive deeper or furthermore, but I'll probably share my perspective on something that they've missed out. But before that, I'll probably also ask the same question to the audience as well. So just by fuel efficiency and energy efficiency at the very textile industry or a garment industry perspective, you can save a certain amount of emissions, which doesn't require a lot of investment. How many percentage of emissions or energy efficiency or fuel efficiency do you think just by doing an energy audit and just without a lot of investment, just by running your equipments efficiently, how much emissions do you think you can save? Like any number, any random number, if anyone.
Any numbers from the audience? Just approximately?
Yeah.
3 to 5%.
3 to 5%. Any other answers?
Any other answers?
It varies obviously from company to company, the kind of technology, when you started the factory and all of it. But just a random number, I just want to understand.
10 to 15? 10 to 15?
10 to 15. Any other answers?
So already says minimum 5, then again 10 to 15. Then if you want to go, then 15 to 30.
Yeah, so people are thinking maybe that's
then
not
30
right
to
answer,
60.
let me tell a higher number. So it's on an average 15 to 20%. right? So when you talk about decarbonization, when you talk about becoming sustainable, first thing that a lot of companies and first impression that we think of is, hey, I need a lot of investment to do this, right? And when I have the investment and we focus on this, and that's the first perspective that everyone gets. But just by having your energy or running your equipments efficiently, and just by doing very simple basic energy and fuel efficiency measures, you can easily save up to 20% of your emissions, which also directly means cost savings as well, right? You're making your process more efficient and you directly save close to 15 to 20% of your cost as well with your operations. So I think that's the most easiest and the simplest thing to start with. Something that I would probably emphasize, something that that was missed out in the previous speakers that they had addressed. And second, everyone knows it's renewable energy, and the quicker you move to renewable energy, your emissions are largely dependent on that, especially in a textile industry setup. And thirdly, a very general perspective is that, hey, I have reduced my emissions and that I am net zero. So if you take this garment, for example, it has to be net zero from its production till the disposable method, right? And just say if one process, the stitching process alone is net zero, doesn't mean the entire garment is being made net zero. So that's where the supply chain comes into place. It's very important that you engage your supply chain. And I think there was an example that was quoted by Prarthana ma'am earlier, that H&M, close to 90%, they have been reduce their emissions, and that was the scope 1 and scope 2 emissions. But if you look at their scope 3, they're still grappling around a number of 50 to 60%. So even for such a global brand, having such a complex supply chain, that is a challenge. So that's where close to 60 to 80% of your emissions rest on your supply chain. So then the third and the formidable thing for you to look at is your supply chain and see how you can engage your vendors. And what it does in return is, when as a buyer, as a big brand, where they look at you and they compare with the other brands, and if they see that you engage your suppliers, you are forefront of it, and you are ahead of the market, then that obviously gives you an advantage, right? Which is something gives you a competitive advantage as well. So these are probably the three things that I would add on, and I hope
that's very actionable roadmap. We understood. Yeah. So maybe something participants can start applying straight away. Okay. I would like to come to Stanley. I have two questions with you. Maybe I'll combine together and ask you that. From your perspective, what kind of partnerships between government and industry bodies are critical to enable MSME move towards net zero? And along with that, if you had to recommend 3 immediate steps to producers or suppliers can take starting tomorrow, what they would be?
Okay. So when we talk about the supply chain, it's also tier 3 and beyond. So like many times, these are all invisible supply chain, and that tracking is very important if we talk about net zero. So like if it is Tirupur, it is also Karur or Dindigal, Virudhunagar, many places, many government units are there, associations are there. Yeah. So how these all micro units, capacity is also very important, and partnership between industries, bodies, government, all these need to come with some innovative ideas, like how finance technology could be used by the micro units even. Then if we think about net zero, many times when we access this MSMEs, micro MSMEs access green loans. So simplified clearance process is very important. Or else many times documentations and other support is very much needed for them. So that hand-holding is very important for the micro MSMEs.
Thank you, Stanley. So very practical. Yeah, understood. Kaushal, I have questions with you. How can digital tools and software help suppliers to track and reduce their emissions? Apart from that, can you share a practical example of how data-driven monitoring has helped from the factory to improve?
So firstly, thank you so much, Senthil and Team Fairtrade, for having me on this panel. I'm also honored to be a part of this conference, which has a focus on sustainability. I think not just in textiles, but across the board in every industry, there should be more and more efforts taken towards driving sustainability and change. I think including sustainability as part of a basic business need and a business requirement is something that needs to be set up right from the time an organization is founded. So firstly, that's just what it is. Coming to how digital tools can help suppliers, to track and reduce emissions. I think emissions. So I think that primarily data is considered as sort of a treasure in today's world. There is invaluable information available in data, and data is available across the board, right from the time you identify the raw materials all the way through production, supply chain and delivery to the customers, and also waste management, as Hari mentioned. There is a lot of data that is available. Ensuring that there is a good platform, ensuring that there is a proper framework that has been set up that covers a holistic solution, or rather a holistic set of verticals where all types of data can be collected and then tracked, is something that will help suppliers. So mainly having systems in place that reduce the burden and the efforts on suppliers. A lot of organizations always try to fear new tech solutions, mainly because they feel their efforts need to be increased. I think the kind of, we need to put 2 people, 3 people who sit every day, constantly keep typing information. We need to keep remembering to enter this information and enter that information. A lot of this is causes a little hesitation to try to keep pushing data onto platforms. But I think working with Fairtrade on developing a solution where a lot of this is mitigated mainly through creating frameworks, creating AI-based and AI-driven solutions that help in taking away a lot of the workload from actual people and allowing them to just focus on the actual work, focus on the actual enhancing the sustainability, will help in reducing or rather tracking and reducing the emissions.
Sure.
Also, the last point I just want to add is in terms of reducing the emissions is by having a lot of data being pulled onto platforms. What allows is for comparisons between different years, between organizations, between industries, and comparisons help in ensuring that you know where you've gone wrong and where you can try and make changes to help in reducing your emissions.
Yeah, thank you so much. So definitely software is going to help suppliers to track and reduce the emission here onwards. This is a real pathway. Yeah, thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for all of you. So thank you. Thanks for joining the session. So now we have covered the wide journey today, from understanding the state of play and intervention across levels, case studies and success stories. The key message is this: the suppliers are not just part of a EU decarbonization roadmap, they are the driving force behind it. Finally, I would like to thank you all of the speakers and partners and all of you, because you are valuable insight, and participants. Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank our moderator, Senthil. Thank you so much for your invaluable time. And what a fantastic and an engaging session that was. So we would not close this moment without handing over a token of appreciation to each one of our speakers. I will be calling the names one by one. Before that, may I request Mr. Abhishek Jani kindly come up on the dais to hand over the giveaways. And can I please request Mr. Anand Muthuswamy? Anand has stepped out. Okay, I'll move on. Mr. Nandakumar Rajagopalan. I'll take the mementos on their behalf. Miss Prarthana Borah. Ladies first. Yay. It's like... Mr. Anand is here as well, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Anand Muthuswamy. If Mr. Nandakumar is back. Okay. Mr. Shrivog Norlawar. Please be around. That's Mr. Shrivog Norlawar. Mr. Narayanasamy Arunachalam. So you can choose either side of the stage, sir. Mr. Vignesh Kumar Saktivel. Mr. Dhanasekaran. Next, Mr. K. Mezhi Selvan. Please be around. Mr. Rajesh Mohan. Mr. Sasidharan Balamurugan. Faster, faster, faster. Mr. Hari Prasad. Mr. Kaushal Swaroop. Mr. Stanley Joseph. And finally, the backbone of this entire session, Mr. Senthilnathan. Hold on to that round of applause. I'll be calling upon all our presenters. Please join us on the stage for a group photograph. Can I please request all our speakers to kindly come up on the stage quickly? Some workout before the lunch. My apologies. Now, can I hear a bigger round of applause, please? Please. This is a fantastic session, engaging, insightful. Let's keep them rolling.